The Notaries Unsealed podcast is brought to you by the Notary Success System and Captivated Notary Marketing Solutions. Coming up on this episode.
And basically, ain't nothing but, if you paying for them, they're nothing but a business consultant.
People are, getting these so-called mentors just because that's what's trending.
Do they have guidelines within the contract that they can hold these people accountable to? And if you don't,
real smooth this time. We know Notaries Unsealed. This my everyday life. Yeah. We know Notaries Unsealed. Every day I hustle out here living it right. Let's go. We know Notaries Unsealed. Put the stamp down and stop in front of the mic. Here we go. Took the game over. We home now. We soldiers. Griff, Mathurin, and cue the podcast. You can't hold us. Y'all heard the word. Y'all heard the word. Griff, Mathurin,
what's going on, Notary
we
World? Welcome back to another episode of Notaries Unsealed. I'm your host, Quentin Smith, and I've got my guys with me, Uncle Griffin, Mathurin. Say what's up to the people, fellas.
Hey, what's going on, folks?
Hey, what's up now? Good to see that y'all here. Thank you.
How you guys doing this week, man?
Oh man, we are doing good. Slow week, as far as business wise, as far as notary wise, I can say. But it's trying to get some more traction within real estate. Like I told you guys last time that I wanted to kind of focus on that. So kind of getting a little more traction. So we're just gonna keep applying pressure and see, what that gets us in the next few months.
So for those people out there that are also in real estate, Mathurin, you mentioned that you were able to get invested with a property. Where are you at in your process right now?
Oh, the property's already been assigned to a end buyer, so we're just waiting on the attorneys, to get a clear title. So once the title comes back cleared, we're just gonna close on it, and then that end buyer is gonna start his rehab process.
Okay, and are you're able to go into the property now and go through some things and whatnot?
Yeah, so I have the key. So the same day I got it contracted with the seller. He gave me the key because he doesn't want anything to do with the property. He inherited the property from his grandmother, so he
Gotcha.
doesn't want anything to do with it. So I'm just here. I'm just helping him out, making him an offer that, which he wanted. So we're just going to take it day by day, man.
Cool, Griff, what's up, bro?
Oh, man. Shoot, for me, it was busy, man. I think I did like 15 signings this week. 53 altogether for the month of September. So
damn.
Griff is notarizing.
Yeah, I was rolling, man. And I keep telling people, for me to get 50 something, that means there had to have been at least 175 orders that came through for me to get that amount. So, man, I think I just started off with like a few, and then next thing I know, it just grew more and more and more. And then that night the hurricane came through, I was a couple of days ago prior to this recording. Mm-hmm. I was sitting home chilling, and I remember I texted y'all.
Yeah, we were supposed to record.
And I was like, man, I'm out. Like, I'm going to a signing. They're paying me $325. I was like, I'm gone. And I mean, it was a trip, man. That order came through, and I thought it was something else. And I saw the dollar amount. I was like, all right, I'm gonna just have to brave this rain.
Absolutely, especially since you got the rental car too, so you ain't even worried about it.
Yeah, I was like, I ain't worried about it. So I hopped in that car, met the guy down there, and got it all signed and everything. And I was like, shoot, I'm good. So that that almost put me at. I mean, I was just a little shy of $6,000 after that order. So I was like, I said, it's a good month for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. And, as far as I go, General Notary Work, still doing this thing, doing what we're supposed to do. I just released a mixtape. We'll be bringing that to you guys at some point in the upcoming future. It's called the Captivated mixtape, titled Vet This. Really excited to get that out to the community. It was a lot of fun to make, all original stuff. But yeah, business is business as usual. We keep on grinding. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. The grind is on, man. I mean, you got to grind now. I mean, look, there's orders out there now. That Camp Lejeune. Yeah, I'm telling you, if the order comes in to do something for that Camp Lejeune, take it, make your money. I did one on Saturday. It was $75, and I had nothing to notarize. 9 pages. That was it. And I just sat there, was in and out. And then, and by the way, I did the world's fastest signing. At least I think it's the world's fastest. I was in and out in 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. Now, granted, to me, it's still a signing because it was them signing just the deed. It was the husband and wife. And I got there, got the IDs, checked the IDs. I was like, okay, yep, that's you. I said, okay, y'all go ahead on and sign it. I started putting it in my logbook. Got all that done. They signed the logbook. While they were signing the logbook, I was, and we was out.
That's it.
In 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's a new record right there.
That's what's up.
I didn't even realize I had got in and out that fast until I hopped in a car. And I looked at the clock to see what time it was. And I was like, oh, because I was like, man, I got to drop this off to FedEx. So I said, let me see what time it is. And I was like, dang, that was a 6 minutes? Shoot. Yeah, I said, all right, cool.
You definitely got time to drop it off.
You's a bad mother. Shut you.
And that was a last minute one too. That's the crazy thing. I was minding my business. The company called me up and like, hey, can you knock this out for us? It's just the deed. That's all we need. And I was like, no problem. Went, boom, made $40 on it. And some people are like, I ain't doing that for $40. Look, they give me a lot of other business, so they earned, they earned the right to ask me to do something for that fee because they have funneled a lot of business my way over the last year and a half.
Gotcha. Hey, it's a good business relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely sound like that too. Because at the end of the day, you're going to make what you need to make back from them anyways. So if you take a $40 order, the next one might be what you normally get, like $125, $130, or at least something up there. So that's definitely a good one.
Yeah, take care of your partners. Take care of the people that take care of you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That is correct.
So, gentlemen, today's topic, what we're going to be discussing is mentorship. This is a pretty hot topic in the notary world right now, and I think it's a hot topic in every world right now when it comes to entrepreneurship and small businesses, especially with social media these days. And we're gonna kind of look at this. We saw a video. There is a really good YouTuber out there. I'm gonna give him a shout out. Pocket Watching. Is it Pocket Watching TV? I believe it's Pocket Watching TV.
Pocket Watcher with JT.
Oh yeah, Pocket Watcher with JT. Correct. Thank you. And he just put out a video. We're recording this on Sunday. He just put out a video talking about the difference between what is really a mentor, or is it a business consultant, pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, business mentor, and basically ain't nothing but if you're paying for them, they're nothing but a business consultant.
Correct, because you're paying them to consult you. You're not paying them for mentorship. So traditionally, I've served as a mentor previously on jobs. I've served as a mentor to teenagers. I'm a father, so I'm a mentor to my family. And I take those mentorships extremely personal because you're doing it out of love and you're trying to show somebody the right way to do things because you care, right? That's generally what comes with mentorship, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Has you ever asked anybody for money that you mentored? Or have you guys mentored before?
I've had people say they want to mentor me at work, but see, back then I really didn't understand it. I just looked at it. A lot of them, they were trying to mentor just as a way to get promoted, so that because it was a company policy to like mentor a new person, and they had to do that as a part of their evaluation. Mm. So I didn't really think that they weren't really vested into my interest into me. They were just doing it to check a box off. Mm-hmm. So when I sensed that, I was like, I don't want to talk to y'all. Yeah. I already know what I want to do in my life, and I'm like, leave me alone. So they didn't like me, so I wasn't a real good mentee at that time.
Yeah, that sound like what's going on right now.
You know, hey, when you are being approached by a mentor or looking for a mentor, you have to be ready to receive the message. You know, I think that's a big thing when you're in business. I think mentors even have their own mentors that they go to, but you have to be able and ready to receive what this person is going to tell you, for them to be effective.
Correct. And they actually have training out there, and you can be certified and all of that. So that's why with this this stuff in the notary world, I never bought into the mentorship thing. And I'm gonna tell you straight up right now, this is my statement. They don't even know what I'm about to say.
Brace yourself, Mathurin.
And I stand by it. And if you don't like it and you want to distance yourself from me, not talking about my fellows here, but anybody else, that's fine.
You got you, bro.
Look, y'all should not be paying for any more mentors. Don't pay another person to mentor you, because I told y'all, that's why I like the video that the Pocket Watcher did. It just basically solidifies and confirms everything that I taught y'all in my 2 videos, because I did 2 videos on mentorship.
That you did.
Yeah, one called Understanding Mentorship. Your mentor might need mentoring, and then a part 2 to that one. So I talked about this, and I think that was probably over a year ago, close to a year ago, that I did those videos. And I'm telling y'all now, stop paying these folks to be your mentor, because they, not from the standpoint, not saying that you don't need a mentor. I'm saying they don't know what it takes to be a mentor. They have no stinking idea. All they're trying to do is get you to spend money with them and to help offset the fact that they're not a good notary and they ain't picking up no business. But all of this here, you need a mentor. You need a mentor. No, you don't. Go ahead on Mathurin.
No, what you said right there makes perfect sense. You know, I feel like, not just within the notary industry, just the real estate industry as well, that I see the same thing where people are posing as mentors, but they're not really providing that type of service or the type of knowledge that a mentor should be providing. Everyone is worrying about making money. Like, I get it. It's a business world. People have to, make some type of income. At the same time, in order for you to be a true mentor, the person that you're mentoring there should be a point where they come to where you are teaching them, they are able to apply it within their own business, within their market. Because a lot of people are just teaching different strategies that they see another mentors doing. So let's say if I'm here in Massachusetts, I see somebody's doing it in Texas. So I'm trying to apply what I'm seeing the person in Texas is doing here in Massachusetts, knowing that there's a market difference. So a lot of folks is not going into it where, can I apply that in my market? Or how can that improve my business? So instead they are getting drawn into okay, so this used to be $9.99. I'm giving it to you today for $4.99. So, the half off price. And I feel like, that's the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah, they just the good old tactics of bait and switch. I mean, and here's the sad part. A lot of these people know what this is. They know this. Look, when people contact me and talking about they want me to be their mentor and all of that, to be honest with you, everybody know I tell them, I say, look, go look at my videos, because that's where my mentorship starts. If you look at the videos, and then hit me back up. I'm going to tell you straight up, very few people hit me back up. Very, very few people have ever really looked at the videos, had a bunch of questions when they called, and then I say, go look at the videos and then come back, because the videos explains it. I take time to articulate what I'm saying, back it up with evidence, all of that. So that's why I'm like, you don't need to pay me to tell you what I've already told you in the video. You need to be disciplined to look at the video. Now, the people, and then even the people who do contact me back, I never develop a mentor-mentee relationship with them, because once they realize that they have it within them to do this business, they're like, I don't need you as a mentor, do I,
Yep.
Griff? No, you really don't. All you got to do is just execute what you've heard. And that's where the problem comes in at. People don't want to execute what they heard. And I'm like, just give it a try. Well, I want to make sure it's right. Just try. When you had that baby, you didn't do no practice run. When you got married, you didn't do no practice run.
Well,
when you went to college,
I practiced that, baby. Anyway, keep going.
I'm talking about the very first one. I'm talking about pushing it out. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, there's a lot that people have done on this earth, and they did not have a mentor. They didn't have anybody. And see, the crazy part is you got people talking about, well, you got to learn through trial and error and just dive in there. But then with the notary business, they act like, well, no, I ain't going to dive into that. And I'm like, because it's legal documents. Look, y'all do a whole lot of other things that can mess people up financially in your day-to-day life. And you don't worry about that. You just give it a shot. And if you make a mistake, you're like, oops, I'm sorry. I mean, you accidentally overcharge somebody $3,000 for a $300 shopping thing that they bought. That can mess them up a whole lot more than me misdoing paperwork. Because if y'all got a 60-day return policy on your money, on refunds, guess what? That person's $3,000 is held up.
Right.
For 60 days, and there's businesses that do that. You pay them, and then we overcharge you. Well, can you just give? Well, no, you got to submit a request and this and that, and they got to review it, and then you'll get it back in about 60 days. Okay, it didn't take y'all 60 days to take my money. Give me my money now. So this mentor thing, I'm telling y'all, and I know people are getting all mad at me, but look, don't pay anybody for mentorship. You need to listen to the pocket watcher.
Well, Griff, let's kind of rewind this a little bit and break this down a little bit more. So, the three of us have seen this video. The audience has not. We said a couple of things, and I think that it's worth going back and kind of breaking down this concept of truthiness when it comes to the difference between a mentor versus a business consultant. And, it really lies within the definition of what a mentor is, who it is, the figure that it is, the role that they play. And a lot of times mentors, they're seeking out or open to mentees because they want to, whatever it is that they're doing, they want that to continue going forward to a new generation. They want to pass off whatever knowledge that they have to somebody that is willing to put the work in to gain the information and knowledge that they themselves have acquired, right? And there's never really, it's not a monetary thing. It's a labor of love, right? And I think that's what separates a mentor versus a business consultant, because if you're paying somebody for the information, to help you, at that point, you're paying them as a consultant. I mean, have you stopped to think about these mentors that you're paying? What do they claim on their taxes?
Well, that's something I don't think anybody right now even thinking like that.
Right.
To be honest with you, because one thing that I've seen that the majority of folks are going by what's trending, or all these affiliated links program that I believe we spoke about the last episode, but they're not really doing what's required of them for them to actually research that so-called mentor. Because anybody can come out right now and say, hey, so I'm a mentor. Anybody can do that.
Right. So but the truth and the trickery is in the wording, right?
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, they're more so a coach, just encouraging you and hyping you up. I mean, they're really nothing but hype men, because when you really look at it, you listen to them and you get hyped up, and then you say, okay, yeah, I'm going to hop on this here and I'm going to do it. And you're disciplined to implement.
Flav. That's what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
You're choosing Flavor Flav. That's what you're going after.
That's it.
Yeah,
and you
boy.
Just enough. I know it.
Notary, boy.
Yep.
Yeah, and you hyped up just enough to go out there for about a week and a half. But the moment you run into a roadblock, a speed bump, or a little pothole, that you went from getting 12 signings a week down to 11, and then you like, oh man, this business ain't working. And where's your mentor? They're not there because they're not really a mentor. They're a coach. And they're just saying, you can do it. Like that little dude with the little gazelle thing. You can do it. And you're sitting here like, no. But they don't get you in the right frame of mind to go out here and do this. Now, let me read something to y'all from my video. It says the word mentor means to manage relationships. Each letter here, manage relationships, encourage, nurture, teach, offer mutual respect, and respond to the learner's need. That is not happening with mentors out there. They are not doing any of that. I'm telling you right now, they are not doing that. They're not managing a relationship because they're not really trying to be in a relationship with you. They're not encouraging you. I mean, you think they're really encouraging you. No, they're making you think you're being encouraged just so you can keep paying them some money. They're not nurturing you. They're not really teaching you, because every time you try to learn something from them, they say, oh, you got to pay for it. You got to pay a little extra fee. Yeah. So they're not offering mutual respect. They don't respect you. I'm just be straight up. Look, there's some people out there that say, I don't care anything about you, but they want you to care about them. That is not mentorship. And then they don't respond to your needs, to the learner's needs. You got a need that you need to know. And they're like, no, I'm on vacation. Don't bother me.
All right. So I'm glad that you brought us the definition of a mentor. I'm going to bring us to the definition of a business consultant. All right. A business consultant is a professional who provides professional or expert advice in a particular area, such as security, electronic or physical management, accountancy, law, human resources, marketing, and public relations, financial control, engineering, science, digital transformation, exit planning, or any of many other specialized fields. The overall impact of a consultant is that clients have access to deeper levels of expertise than would be feasible for them to retain in-house, and may purchase only as much service from the outside consultant as desired. External consultants is someone who is employed externally, either by a firm or some other agency, whose expertise is provided on a temporary basis, usually for a fee. As such, this type of consultant generally engages with multiple and changing clients. So we just got the two different definitions.
Yeah, that is correct. And let me add this in there for us, the mentor. One of the things that also says with the mentor, it says for a successful mentor and mentee relationship, they should be clear about the goals and open to critique. The mentee should be clear about their goals and open to critique and advice from the mentor. And here's the biggest thing, and I know you always talk about, me and you talk about this a lot, Q. A lot of people they don't have any goals. Mm-hmm. So how can you expect somebody to mentor you and you have no goals, no aim, attitude, intentions, and motives? You have nothing. They're saying, okay, what are you going to do if I wasn't here as a mentor? I don't know. Just tell me. And that's the thing. That's why I know people don't call me back, is because they realize pretty quick I'm not going to give them an answer book. And that's what a lot of the people are looking for. They're looking for me to give them, or anybody to give them, an answer book of everything they need to know so they don't have to go through anything. And if you don't ever want to go through anything painful, anything that's going to challenge you and possibly stress you out and all of that, then you don't need to be in any kind of business whatsoever. Stay a W-2 and keep it going. Because when you have a whole bunch of people come into an industry and they truly don't want to go through the learning process of being successful as that, whatever it is for that industry, they can mess it up.
Right.
They can really mess it up, because the people who are putting out the money is like, I don't trust nobody. So you're a trustworthy notary, but now nobody trusts any notary because there's 10-to-1 notaries out there cutting the fool and making people like, I don't want to mess with you. But I like that definition on the business consultant.
Yeah. And so what I'd like for people to do is really just kind of take a look at the differences between the two. First of all, Griff didn't mention anything about that mentor getting paid. However, the business consultant did. So I think why this is important is for people to understand that when you are hiring these so-called, I'm putting this in quotation mark, mentors, if you're paying them, they are no longer a mentor, and you need to treat them as a business consultant. And with them being a business consultant, because that's what they are, there has to be a quantifiable outcome for their performance. They should be paid to perform to reach a goal. That's what you're paying them for, is to reach a goal. So if you're paying this mentor and you don't have a quantifiable outcome, meaning a certain amount of business for a sustainable amount of time, then what are you paying them for?
Yeah, at that point, it's pretty much just a waste of time on both part. But it goes back to what I was saying, that people are getting these so-called mentors just because that's what's trending, and it's very unfortunate. Just like you guys here between Griff and yourself, Q, we do not like to see other people get taken advantage of. And it's something that I see happening within the community, as far as this within the black community, and it's sad. Which, like I said, I'm sure it happened. It happened in everywhere. But from my experience, from what I've seen, and people that have reached out to me regarding some information based on some courses that they've taken, it happens more within our community. But at the same time, we can't just blame the mentor. We also got to blame the person that's looking for a mentor, especially if you don't have a goal. What is it that you're trying to achieve? What is it that you want that person to help you? Like, are you trying to get to the next level? What is required of you to get to that next level? Or you're willing to put in the work? A lot of people just want somebody to do the work for them, but they're not willing to even take the first step. And some of the, an example I can have is, when someone had reached out to you a couple months ago regarding, setting up their business as far as Google, and they didn't even have I believe they didn't even have a Google account, or if they had one, they didn't even take the time to create the free page. So you have to be willing to at least do the part, do your part. And that way, if indeed you find a true mentor that actually cares about you, actually wants to see you succeed, you don't want to be wasting daytime as well.
That is right. Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
And that's why I keep asking the question over and over again. And I'll be honest with you, no one has given me a real solid answer when I ask this question. What is it that you want to be mentored in? No one is giving me a solid answer, because they're not expecting to be asked that.
No,
they're like, hey, I want to be I want you to mentor me, and I'm like, okay, mentor you in what?
Hey, what do you need
help with? What part of the business? Because I don't know where you're at, and that means I got to spend time getting to know you and learn your personality, learn your temperaments. And if you're not willing to be open to me, if you're just like, just give me, show me what I need to do so I can make this money. My question is, how are you going to handle it if you got a spouse that really don't care about what you're doing, but they want to spend all your money? And then you all of a sudden start pulling in an extra $5-6 a month, but then they spend it all and you can't even buy paper and toner for the next month that's coming up. See, all of that stuff matters to me. And nobody wants to be that transparent with me, because they're like, man, I don't know you. You don't need to be all up in my business like that, knowing whether my spouse likes me or like what I'm doing or this, that, and the other.
But that's part of a true mentorship, is you have to know that person to be able to help guide them in what it is that they're trying to do. That's not a surface level thing.
That's coaching and just training. I just train you how to do something, and it's like, no. And I just believe that the person, if they really apply themselves and if they get out of their own way, stop being scared, stop making excuses, they can easily see how simple this business is. And most people have listened to what I've said on my videos, as well as others who are out there talking correctly, and they realize pretty quick, oh, this business is easy. I can do this. And they go out there and execute it. But if you're not willing to execute it, if you're just looking for somebody, you thinking that running a business is like a W-2, then you're going to always want somebody to do some part for you. You're going to always want the other person to do it for you so you can reap the benefits. And that's really what you're paying for. You're paying people to do stuff that you don't want to do. And if you're willing to pay them, that's fine. But the moment you no longer can afford them because they told you don't accept any money, meaning those $60 orders, the moment you can't pay them, they're gonna leave you alone.
But here's my
They ain't gonna have
question.
nothing to do with you.
Here's my question. For those people that are paying for mentors, are those mentors actually doing the work that they don't want to do for them? Or are they telling them to do the work and then the notaries aren't doing the work? But then they keep going back to these people because they're still waiting for this magic pill from this monthly subscription that they bought to be mentored by this person. There's just waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, what is what is actually being achieved here? And to kind of, I want to talk about that, but I also want to move the conversation forward because ultimately, I think the reason why we wanted to bring this up is because if you are paying for a mentorship, if you are subscribed to some monthly mentoring program, you need to stop treating them like they are above thee, and you need to start making them and forcing them to produce results because they are a business consultant. They are not a mentor.
That's right. And let me back and when you said that, yes, I have a YouTube membership, but with that membership, I'm doing some training with the people who come there. I'm not really mentoring anybody, but I'm more so training and helping them when they get stuck on something for is actually doing the closings. So I'm more so coaching and trying to encourage and things of that nature, but I'm not really mentoring. I'm not mentoring anybody per se because it requires the infusion of time and effort to be with them and to get to know them and to understand their business goals. And nobody is right now open to doing that. But if they need help for a document review or they just got questions and things of that nature, yeah, cool. Just hit me up and everything. And it's really more so to get priority access to me when it comes to I need help with a signing. But for as mentoring people, no, I really haven't done any of that whatsoever.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So in a situation like that, Griff, so if somebody were to reach out to you for, let's say they wanted you to mentor them, like what are some key points that you will what are some key points that you will look for just to see if they even worth your time?
Well, first of all, I need to know. Well, I'm always going to ask them, what do you want to be mentored in? Because and I understand they may not know, but then secondly, are you doing this full time or part time? What are your goals in this business? Where's your family at with this? Do they back you? Or are you alone in this? Because all of that stuff matters because what purpose does it serve for me to pour into you just for you to go back to a toxic environment or even not so much necessarily has to be toxic, but to an unencouraging, uninviting environment and get told this notary business don't work.
Yeah.
That ain't going to work. Or even if you have the support of your family, but then when you get to your job and you tell your friends at work what you're doing and they're like, yeah, right, you ain't going to make no money with that. So if you're going into that kind of environment, and if I see that you're a type of person that's easily swayed or you're constantly looking for approval, that's going to make it hard because I can tell you, hey, this is what you need to do. But the moment somebody who you think is cool with you, they're going to be like, nah, you don't need to do that.
Yeah. Exactly. That makes sense. Yeah. No, that's just something, I wanted to get, your thought process on it as well. And I know, based off what you do, I'm not sure maybe in the future if you consider doing this, but what would you look for if somebody wanted you to mentor them like on Canva or creating ads? So what are some stuff that you look for?
That's a good question. Somebody that I'll speak on Captivated and because it has been something that has crossed my mind, and I know I keep saying, the YouTube channel's coming, it is coming. The podcast started going off, and then the mixtape happened. And YouTube is coming. I promise, YouTube is coming. And I plan on doing similar to what Griff did for the Notary channel, with my YouTube when it comes to design and marketing for the notary business, and just giving out the information for free, because ultimately, it comes down to creativity and being able to open up yourself and really connect with your community and your customers to go and create something that's going to connect and identify with them. So when it comes to some type of mentor, I don't see myself as a mentor when it comes to that. I just see myself being a source of information that has done things that have worked. And I will share those things, because why not? I mean, even if you're my direct competition, if I can help you, that helps all of us. That helps my business grow too, because as I've said multiple times, I believe in our very first episode, that competition, the healthy competition is a good thing. So if I can help them to compete, that only helps the both of us. So, I mean, when it comes to this business, that's not what I got into this for. That's not really what I want. I'm just happy to provide a good service for folks and, share what I've learned. And again, my service is there if you can't do it, if you don't have that creativity. But, I look for people that are creative, that can see things beyond a blank page, and that are willing to allow themselves to grow and to express themselves and be vulnerable. That's what I would look for.
Yeah. And see, one of the things is like what we learned with listening to the Pocket Watcher. And I think all three of us understand that once you get into that role of business consultant, you who paying for that, you supposed to be dictating the terms to some degree as to getting the right results. Because if they're telling you to do something and that's not your vibe, that's not what you want to do, that's not what your business goals are, then you need to tell them no. And many people know that's what I've been saying. You got to be careful with who you connect with, because they will have you do stuff in your business that is not within the confines of your personality, which could then cause problems in your family. You're sitting here hanging out and doing stuff and dressing certain ways and talking certain ways, and your family's like, that ain't you. Well, I'm trying to make this money. Because most of the people out here, they're just saying, just do what I say, do what I do, act the way I act, and you'll be successful. And no, that's not necessarily the case. And that's why I always said, if you're paying, when it comes to doing an order, you're getting paid by this particular person, but you're trying to implement everything this person you paid. If the people who was paying you ask you to do something, you got to take that serious. Absolutely. It can't be this thing of, well, I would do it, but that ain't what the person who my trainer said. Well, maybe your trainer didn't realize that what they need you to do is important, but nobody and see, here's the thing. When you're paying people, you get to hold them accountable.
Correct.
But they're not.
No, they're not.
Nobody's willing to hold, even though they're paying folk and they're not happy with what they're getting from people, they won't hold them accountable, because they still. That's the part that really throws me.
It's because they don't understand the business. They don't understand the business. Like, I was a consultant, right? I worked in the medical field. Mm-hmm. I was a consultant. I came in for training, and the hospital would say, well, this is what we would like. And then as we, because there's a bidding process that goes through this, right? And we would come in and we would say, okay, well, this is what we can offer, right? This is the level of training. This is our style. This is technology that we're comfortable with, and we would negotiate how the job that we were there to do was going to get done. And it was quantifiable. How many courses were we going to have in a day? How many people were we going to be able to train, right? What was the timeline? How much are the budgets going to be for the trainers and hours? How much is this going to cost us, right? There was a number of quantifiable things that we had to answer for before we could even get the contract.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. But within the notary world, and I think the main thing is the social media part, because people are constantly looking for that nugget, that tip, trick, or nugget, that one little thing that's supposed to set them over the edge. And here's the problem. Y'all are trying to, you got 5,000 people trying to get a tip, trick, or nugget all from the same person. You're trying to get the information that make you stand out from the same person as if they're not sharing that to somebody else. So you take a training with them at 8 o'clock in the morning, and guess what? At 9 o'clock, they're going to be teaching that same thing to another group of people, and at 10:30 and 12:15. And so by the time 2 o'clock hit, you got who knows how many people from your area that have been told the same exact thing to move their business forward, and there's nothing unique about what you've been told. It all comes down to your willingness and ability to execute it. And for most people, that's not where their mindset is, because they want it done for them.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, one of the questions that I have is for everybody that has hired a mentor. Do you know exactly what that mentor is supposed to perform for you? Did you provide a goal that is quantifiable, that you can look at and say, yes, we are succeeding, or no, we are not succeeding right now? Did you hold them accountable for anything before you paid them? Did you sign a contract?
Probably not.
Yeah,
Did you sign a contract for anything?
Yeah, most likely they are not holding them accountable. Most likely, some of them not even signing the contract, or if they are signing the contract, they are not reading the fine print. And
Right.
then they get mad when they find out they can't get a refund. But did you read the fine print? What the fine print say? Did it say that you can get a refund, or did it say, hey, are you able to get a refund after signing up within 24 to 48 hours? Like there's like you have to read the contract. So that's one thing I've come to learn, especially, being in notary and real estate. Like if you don't read the contract and you just sign it, you're screwed. You're screwed. You cannot hold them accountable for anything because it comes back to you.
Yeah, I'm curious how many people have paid somebody without signing a contract. Like with Captivated, I don't do work for anybody without getting a contract. Even Griff has contracted work, right? Because within that contract, I release, the rights to the work that I give to you. So I have to have that information out there, because we've got to cover each other on that, right? And I'm looking out for everybody. So I'm wondering how many of these people that are paying for a service from somebody, do they have guidelines within the contract that they can hold these people accountable to? And if you don't, please, any of our listeners that are here for the Notaries Unsealed, if you are in that situation right now, please, today, tomorrow, this week, you need to contact those people, hold them accountable, and if they refuse to be accountable, cut that automatic payment off from your debit card, cut it off, cut the relationship, and save you some money and go buy you some paper.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. And then here's the bad part, and like what Pocket Watcher pointed out, and I'm glad he did, was that people get all hyped up with these so-called business mentors. They don't vet them, and if they do ask them some things, they're like, okay, well, yeah, I had this here level of success, but is that success sustainable? Was it just doing this one little YouTube interview, or what was that? Google post? They helped me out. I took this course and I'm making money. Okay, where are you at 12 months from now, 2 years from now? I mean, it's clear. I took Bill Soroka's course, and I'll be honest, I didn't even get to finish all of it before work started coming in.
Same.
But I've been tight with him. I've been tight with Laura, taking their training, and my success has been very steady. I've been able to go from just a little bit of money to more money to enough money to go full-time in this business and take care of my family, and I've been steady. But so you look at me year over year, as the term is now with the real estate, year over year, I've increased or stayed somewhat steady to what I need to do for my family. And a lot of people get what they call that popcorn success, pop. And then it's like, okay, yeah, but guess what? That was just one kernel. You need to have all of it popping, and you need to have it popping every month, every year, consistently, because if every time you turn around you got to keep making business shifts. So here's your main line of business, let's just say notary, and then every 2-3 months, well, I got to add in another service and another service so I can make money. okay, what's going on here?
Right.
Because at some point in time, the notary business should be bringing you in some level of money. And that's why I say, are you making money with your stamp? If you're not making money with your stamp and everything is about, let me add another course, let me add another this, you learn something. And again, that's why people keep stealing folks' stuff, because I'm going to take somebody's training. And that's the reason why most people take training, is so they can steal people's stuff. And that's why with me, you got to sign a non-disclosure agreement that you won't take my training and go out and start another company or share it or any of that. Because if I find out that you did, then we got to deal with you legally, because I don't work my butt off to do this and everything.
Yeah.
And that's why you got people on TikTok and everywhere else whining and crying about who stole this, that, and the other, because you didn't have the business acclimate to put in a non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah, you might get a nice little notice.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. I mean, people have already, look, I done did all these videos telling people about folks stealing my stuff, and people are like, oh man, that's messed up. And then they go start something, and then they're like, wow, why are they stealing my stuff? What makes you think they wasn't going to do it? Who are you? Who are you that you can't be stolen from? Yeah. As cool as I may be to most people, I know people will steal from me. I know people probably still have taken my stuff in it. But guess what? You sign that non-disclosure. And if you don't sign it, you don't get the other training material. It's that simple. And I talked to 2 lawyers about this, whether I should or shouldn't do it. And it was like, you have to do it. Not that I should. They said you have to do it. And that's what I did. And I'm good with it, But, some of this stuff that they're showing y'all is not sustainable. A lot of these people, they was only good because of the pandemic or because of 1 or 2 months. But 12 months from now, 18 months.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Well,
you don't pay for no more mentor.
Yeah, stop paying. Stop that. Cut it out.
Yeah, stay away from the cat down the road too.
Yeah, come get some real training with the Notary Success System. NotarySuccessSystem.com.
Well,
that's what you need.
We're about to roll the commercial, so we'll tell them all about that in a second. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
The Notary Success System is the notary industry leading face-to-face loan closing training on the market. You are actually conducting a mock loan closing with a full set of loan closing documents. At the end of the training, you will have the confidence to conduct any loan closing you are assigned. Go to NotarySuccessSystem.com and choose your date and time. Peace.
Do you need a little help advertising your notary business? Captivated Notary Marketing Solutions helps you better build your business locally. It's the only service we offer. Created by founder Quentin Smith to assist other notaries be successful. We offer affordable solutions like unique custom logos, premium digital ads, and multiple options to help you build your social media presence. Visit us online at www.captivatednotaryms.com. Subscribe today and get captivated.
From a short break. This episode's already kind of going kind of long. I appreciate that, guys. That was an awesome first segment. Just to kind of reiterate what we were talking about.
Don't pay nobody for mentorship. Oh, my bad.
Pretty much. If you're paying for a mentor, it's not a mentor. You're paying for a business consultant. And since they are a business consultant, there better be quantifiable goals and a goal that is stated prior to the engagement of the project starting. And if you're not holding them accountable to it, then you are just wasting your money, folks.
Yeah,
and they work for you.
Sorry.
And remember, if you're paying them, they work for you.
Exactly. They do work for you. If you pay them, they work for you. You are not on their time. They are on your time.
There you go.
Just remember that and you'll be good.
All right. And if you're only paying $30 and they're saying, well, you only pay for $30 for the month, well, guess what? you didn't pay. First of all, you're not paying enough to get what you want, and you shouldn't have paid it in the first place.
There you go. So what we got on tap next, man?
All right, so what we're going to do for the second part of this podcast, as you guys know, we usually talk about something a little bit less intense. I've asked the fellas to come up with events that they've been to that were larger than life or that were just really cool events or places to be at. So I will start with one of mine. I got a couple of them. I've been to some pretty cool things. One of mine, when I was a kid, all right, check this out. I met Lamb Chop. All right. So, you know, Lamb Chop's play along. I met Lamb Chop on the White House lawn because I went to the Easter egg hunts on the White House lawn when I was a child.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you were skipping school?
I met the sock pumping. Yeah. No, I wasn't skipping no school, man. You can't skip school and go to the White House. It don't work that way.
How the White House go no? Or the Secret Service be like, hey, that kid skipped school. Get off my eggs. Leave my eggs alone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was Sunday. There was no school.
Well, unless you're skipping Sunday school.
We're not going to talk about all that. But I got a chance to go to Easter on the White House lawn a couple times when I was younger. I've done more cooler stuff than that, but I think that's a great way to start the conversation. Mathurin, what about you, man?
Oh man, sure. I can't really. I don't know. I guess a couple years ago, I went to I guess it was this monster truck event here in Massachusetts, and that was like my first time ever going. Like I remember, you know, as a kid watching it on TV and stuff like that. You know, just seeing how the cars and drive, you know, how everything goes. But to actually have been there in person and see it, I was like, oh man, it's pretty cool.
Let me ask you a question because I made a mistake here because I've been to monster truck before. Where did you sit?
I didn't sit in the front row. I can tell you that. I was probably so I was probably maybe 15 or 20 rows up.
Well, lucky you, because my dumb behind went on a date to a monster truck, and I thought it would be all cool. I was like, yeah, we're gonna get front row seats. I'm gonna spend money to get front row seats. Man, I had a mouthful of dirt by the end of that thing. We were all types of dirty. It was disgusting. Yep. Great time. I was not ready for that. And she was looking cute, and I was looking good. Wrong. Nope. I'll never make that mistake again. But monster truck is dope.
Oh yeah. Definitely enjoyed it. Just being able to experience it was really cool. So definitely.
Griff, give me one.
Oh man, for me, we had to go up to Massachusetts, to Mount Holyoke, Massachusetts, while back, many years ago, and on our way back, we stopped by the NBA Hall of Fame.
Nice.
And that place was nice, man. There was a lot of walking in there, so I'm gonna tell you now. Make sure you wear some comfortable shoes. I had on some slip-on little house shoe things. I was like, okay, my feet were so sore after that, but it was very enjoyable. I mean, just to go through all the different levels of it. And I mean, really, you start at the top and just work your way down. They got basketball courts at the bottom where you can, I think some of them was low enough that you could try to dunk and shoot layups on and just shoot jump shots.
Oh, nice. Did you have to pay for that, or was it just open?
It was no, you paid for it. I forgot how much it cost.
You had to pay to shoot basketball.
Well, you had to pay to get in.
Game in the world to pay.
I know.
Okay, I'm about to say.
Yeah, once you got in, then these weren't outside courts. These was all inside courts.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but they had all the different areas and stuff, and I mean, it was really, really, really nice, you know. And I mean, I've done a lot of other things, you know, when I was in the military, going overseas to Africa, and actually, you know, hanging out with the people there in Africa. That was tight.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, in Australia, them folk be feeding you in Australia. You military, yeah, they feed you real good.
How are the portion sizes? They got like the family style portion sizes?
Yeah, this dude, he made something called Yorkshire pudding, And man, yeah, but it was like this little bread dough thing. Oh man. And I can't even, all I remember, we was out and I think we had got lost. And me being who I am, I just like, well, I'm gonna go to this door and just ask this guy, can he help us to figure out where we gotta go? And I just knocked on some random door. And next thing I know, this dude was like, hey, how y'all doing? In his little British accent. And he had sort of a British Australian accent. And next thing I know, we talking to him and his wife. I don't even remember what the conversation was because I was chowing down too bad. I was eating and stuff. So I mean, it was cool, man. It was real cool.
What about any concerts? Have you guys been to any notable concerts?
When I was a kid, oh snap! Look, when I was a kid, I went to a Rick James and Ray Parker Jr. and radio concert.
Oh.
And all I'm gonna tell you is this.
Wait, what haircut did you have at this time?
Look,
if it was a Rick James era, come on, tell us the truth.
No Jerry curls, no Jerry curls.
Okay.
Oh man.
Okay.
But I will tell you this: when them lights came on, it was so much smoke in there from the weed. it wasn't funny. And boy, look, all I can say is I had myself a good time. And I probably shouldn't have been in there because I was a little young. But my mom, she wanted to go to the concert, and she was sitting up in the stands because she liked Ray Parker Jr. and everything, and she didn't care too much about Rick James. But I remember Rick James and all of that, and I was like, man, this is tight. I just remember dancing, and I wasn't dancing by myself. That's all I can say. There was some nice little ladies up in there, and see, the cool part was back then, I think I was like 12, 13 years old. That's why I said I probably shouldn't have been up in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh no, I'm gonna go next. I got stories.
But I had a full mustache at 12 years old, so I looked older, and I didn't tell anybody any different. They asked me how old I was. I was like, how old you think? Oh, you look like you 17. Yep. How you guess that, girl? I was like, man, you smart. I'm like, shoot, I ain't nowhere near 17. I'm the same age as your 12, 13-year-old behind.
Damn, that's crazy. Griffin just getting in there.
See, I was similar. So at 13, I was damn near almost 6 feet tall at 13. And I actually went to a concert when I was 13 years old, and I got to see Luther Vandross.
Oh man, that's cool.
Man. Now, I had always heard about panties being thrown at the stage.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was a fallacy. Now, I was sitting kind of close to the stage because my mom, she worked for MCI Communications at the time. I don't know if y'all remember MCI.
I remember MCI.
All right, so my mom worked for MCI, and so they had hooked her up with tickets that were very close to the stage. The underwear were flying. It was real. Like I didn't believe it, and all of a sudden, and it wasn't big Luther or skinny Luther, it was medium Luther.
Okay.
Right. So, but as soon as it was him and Boys to Men, I was sitting there. I'm like, how many pairs of underwear did y'all bring? Because did y'all just bring some in your purse? Because there can't be that many women walking around here without underwear on. I'm 13 years old, and I'm like, yo, it's stinking up in here. What is going on? Babies was made that night. Luther held it down. Boys to Men. Hey, Boys to Men. That's a group right there, man. They did their thing. Yeah, they can sing. Them boys can sing.
Yeah.
Sure did, man. Unfortunately, they don't make, they don't have good artists like that nowadays. There's some, but not. I'm all set.
And it wasn't even just about them singing, though. It's the songwriting, and that's what made that era of music so enjoyable. Was because of the level of songwriting and how they would shoot darts at your heart to make you feel it.
Oh yeah,
you don't really find a whole lot of that these days of great songwriting.
No.
But that was an excellent concert. So I feel you being 13 years old, looking a little bit older. I went through it myself. I done seen some things that I never thought that I was gonna see in women that you be like, ain't you the cafeteria lady? What is you doing up in here? Fix your wig and stop throwing your panties, swinging your panties around like that. Man, I done seen some things. Seen aunties and grandmamas and sisters, a whole family of line just sitting there losing themselves over some Luther Vandross.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The weird part for me, weirdest thing, I just remember, man, my mom, I don't even know how I got involved in this. Y'all like, man, your mom was tripping. Yeah. Me and her wound up going to the racetrack.
A racetrack?
What kind of racetrack?
The dogs.
Dog racing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the Greyhound.
Was this back in Florida?
Yeah, down in Florida, the Greyhound.
Yeah,
Do you remember
right.
that? Yeah. And I can't even remember why I ended up going with her. But by then I was like in high school, so I was thinking, I think I was like 16. And of course, if I was 12 looking 17, you know what I was looking like when I was 16. I had a full beard, everything. And so I'm 16. They're thinking I'm just a grown man. And they just let me into the daggone racetrack. And I'm in there. I ain't placing no bet. She said, don't you place a bet. And next thing I know, my football coach is up in there.
Damn.
What?
Yeah. And he looked at me, still had on his football gear, football coach clothes. And that's the only reason why I reckon. I'm like, oh, snap, that's cold. And he looked at me, he like, don't you tell nobody I'm here. And he walked off. That's all he said to me. Don't you tell nobody. I was like, no. And we saw each other at practice, and he looked at me. I'm like, I ain't saying nothing, man. I was like, I'm serious.
Yeah,
like,
you ain't trying to run.
I was like, nah. But yeah, man, that racetrack betting, man, that thing was like, that was lit. I was like, but I never really got into betting on no dog because I said, the dog I bet on probably just sit there and be like, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't running today. Man, forget that rabbit.
When I was younger, and we lived in Oxon Hill, Maryland. So we used to live in the apartment complex that ran adjacent to Rosecroft Raceway, right there in Oxon Hill, and where our building was is towards the back of the property. So there were woods in the back, and this was back in the '90s. And I know I'm a young guy, right? 'Cause I know a lot of our older our demographics are a little bit aged, finer than myself. We still played in the woods and went out on excursions and stuff like that. We still played outside.
Yeah.
I remember those.
So we used to go through the woods and we would walk along the gates of the horse track. So Rosecroft was a horse track raceway.
Okay.
And we would walk along the gates, and the gates were down by the stables. And so we would hang out there and just watch the horses and everything, and which was really cool. And we could still see the races from there too. So we would venture off back there every now and then, and be sucking on honeysuckles and whatnot. All that good stuff, mischievous stuff that kids these days don't understand.
Yeah. Nah, I remember playing in the woods, man. Man, we played the silliest game ever. We had people in the woods and then people outside the woods. And the woods was pretty dense. So I thought they were. And the people outside the woods was throwing bricks, bottles into the woods.
Griff.
Yeah. And
what sense does this make?
Yeah, that's old school. That's old school right there.
Yeah. And you would think that them trees would be able to block that stuff. I learned real quick, them trees, no matter how tightly packed they are, a brick, a glass bottle will find its way through. And when one of the bottles hit a dude on the thigh, I was like, what did we get ourselves? I mean, we just made up a game on the fly.
Just make random
Hold on. Was it only the people on the outside of the forge throwing stuff in, or were you guys throwing stuff out towards them as well?
Well, we couldn't throw anything back unless we had something, so we had to wait till the bricks.
You played the fool. You was a fool for it. You was the fool. They got you.
I didn't get hit. I didn't get hit.
No, but you was in there though.
I was in
there.
You
were in there though. They got you.
Yeah,
I was in there, but I didn't get hit. Yeah. Now the hard part was we had these trees, and I still don't know what kind they are, but they had like 3 to 6 inch spikes on them, thorns that stuck out from the tree. So if so you're sitting here and you leaning up against one of those, or you run into one, man, them things hurt. So and then we had snakes back there, alligators, snapping turtles, all of that. So you concerned about the critters, and you getting bricks.
You know what? That's what. Hey, you know what? That's what make it fun. You know, kids nowadays will never experience something like that. You know, I remember just some of the games that we used to play back in Haiti and whatnot. And now I'm seeing how kids are growing up now. They are spending their time watching TV. They are watching someone else play a video game. That's one thing I don't get. I will never understand that.
I just got on my kids about that today. I was
sense.
They were telling me about this new thing on Fortnite that came out. They were like, "Oh, look, I'm watching a video on it." I was like, "But isn't it in the game?" Yeah. I'm like, "So why aren't you playing the game?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you using it? Oh, but I want to see the music.
Yeah, I know.
But why not?
That's like notaries. I want to see you do it so I can just glean off of you. I don't want to learn. I'm going to just mimic what you did.
Exactly.
No, you got to use the thought process, man.
I told my son the other day, go get in some trouble. Leave the house. I'm kicking you out. I'm about to lock this door. Go find some trouble to get into, something that I can get upset or have to worry about.
Yeah.
So that way we can have some type of normal relationship here between father and son.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, man. Some good stuff.
Yeah, but no, when I think back on it, I've had some nice little adventures. When I was in Thailand, oh man, that was the weirdest thing, man. I was in Thailand. I was tired. I wasn't drunk, y'all, but I was tired, and I fell asleep in the cab. And next thing I know, the cab got into an accident.
What
the hell?
I was like, what's going on here? And all I remember them doing is out of nowhere, a bunch of people came up. I thought I was being kidnapped. They snatched me up out the car and put me in another cab. They said, you don't want to be here when the police come, because they will put you in jail and they will blame you. And I was like, whatever. And hopped in a cab and went on. And I can't remember. I can't remember what city I ended up going to, but man, it was beautiful. That was a busy place. When you see about crowds of people, it is like that. And then they had kickboxing everywhere. And they told us, they said, no matter what you do, do not get in the ring with them, because they will tear you up. And of course, there was always some guys that thought they could hop in the ring with the little skinny kickboxer. Excuse me, and got
especially when they get that liquid courage inside of them.
Then get their behind throw up.
Yep, and they got these behinds whipped, and I was like, But yeah, no, Thailand was, man, they had some hot peppers there. They peppers were so hot you could smell the heat coming off of them. When you walk by the little car, it's like, nah, I ain't eating that. Nope. That you smell the capsaicin coming off of them bad boys. So nah.
Stomach out.
Yeah. And see, because I done so much when I was younger, that's probably why I'm so chilled now. But like, nah, I ain't got to go nowhere. Everybody like, I like to travel. I'm like, if you did as much traveling as I did,
right.
I'm like, I've been to Hawaii, Singapore, Australia. Singapore is clean. That place, that place is clean. Yeah, they told us way before that kid got his butt whipped. They told us, don't dirty the place up, because if you do, they'll put you in jail and we won't see you no more. That's what they used to tell us in the middle. They said, don't dirty up nothing. And the only thing that I liked in Singapore was they had Bally shoes. I don't know if y'all remember them. There was a particular brand of shoes called Bally's.
Bally shoes? Nah, I don't know those.
Oh, yeah. They was nice, man. But, of course, unfortunately, because of the size of the people there, they only had up to size 10. I needed a 12. That was as large as their shoes was. And in Japan, the shoe size went no higher than 9.5. So wow. I could never buy any shoes. I had to buy all my shoes out of catalogs.
You talking about loafers?
loafers, Oxfords, sneakers, you name it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now you can go to Australia. Man, they had everything there. Everything. Fila, you name it.
That's crazy.
Ever been to any sports events or anything like that?
Oh, man, shoot. Oh, yeah.
I got to see MJ play live. I got to see Michael Jordan play live.
Oh, really?
I'd say that. Yeah, I got to see him play the Washington Bullets. And actually, in that game, he had one of his famous highlights where he pump faked with one hand, and Tim Legler just jumps up in the air. He's right there in the corner. Tim Legler jumps up in the air, and Jordan just kind of goes around and looks at him and hits a J. Like I was right there. Like I saw that, like right there, not that far from that moment.
Oh man, that's
so
cool.
Whenever I see that,
awesome.
that highlight of MJ, I'm like, yeah, I was there. I was right there. I was like, I'm right outside the corner.
Yeah, I went to a Wizards game or a Bullets game, and I don't even know who they played because I was up in the in a company press box, and I was up there chilling, eating all the food, and I ain't even pay attention to the game.
Yo, those boxes are nice. Like I said, my mom used to work for MCI, so I used to get tickets to everything: wrestling, Wizards. Never went to a Redskins game or nothing like that. No interest in that. But you know, concerts and everything. Like I went to see Jay-Z, Hard Knock Life tour. I saw that. Who else I see? I saw Mark Anthony, the Spanish singer that was married to J-Lo.
Yeah.
There's a couple rows from the stage for that. That was a great concert. He's a great performer. Just an amazing show to be at. I've seen some things, man. Definitely seen some things.
Yeah. Well,
all right, guys.
Yeah, man, that's cool. That's cool.
I think it's that time.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know what time it is for Mathurin.
Oh yeah, baby Huey about to go night.
I'm about to knock out.
Mathurin, like I'm done.
Griffin, I was like, we got work.
He went to mattress discounters. He was like, shoot.
Look, that's because
Mathurin get up at 4 a.m.
That's because folks don't know that all podcasts we actually enjoy recording. We be on here for like 3 to 4 hours, and you guys only get about an hour and a half of it.
Yeah,
this is true. This is very true. But I think it's time for us to go ahead and call this one. I think it's been a great podcast. I'm satisfied. Are you guys satisfied with what we've done this evening?
As always, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we on point, man. #1 podcast in the notary world.
Yeah, make sure you guys are sharing that too. So stop. You know what? Don't just like the stuff. I want to see you guys start sharing it. We appreciate the like, but share it on your page, share it on Facebook, share it on LinkedIn. And just spread the love. Spread the love.
Hey, I think we're gonna be bringing on. Hey, you know what? Let's before we end this, I think we should just go ahead and put this out there. All right. Throughout the week on Instagram and Facebook, we post about the podcast as far as, quick ads, 15 seconds, 10 seconds. If you repost us, tag Notaries Unsealed podcast. All right. That does exist on Instagram, or you can tag one of us individually. We just got to keep track of it. But we are going to be bringing on whoever tags us the most over the next month. We're going to invite you onto the podcast to do a show with us.
Yeah.
And there's already a couple people that are in the running. We've got some great people that are tagging us and reposting our stuff. So we're just asking, hey, share our stuff, tag us in it, and we are definitely going to be going off of whoever shares us the most. We're going to ask you to come on and chop it up with the guys.
Cool.
Absolutely. Sound like a plan.
All right, fellas. Any last statements?
Nah, man, I'm good.
Nah, we're good. Just you guys have a good one. That's it. I'm tired.
All right, and keep an eye out for the Captivated mixtape titled Vet This. It should be coming soon. That's what I got coming for you guys. And on that note, we are out of here. So, thanks for joining Notaries Unsealed again. We'll see you next week. Love your life. Love your business.
the stamp down and stop in front of the mic. Here we go. Took the game over, we home now. We soldiers. Griff, Mathurin, and Q, the podcast, you can't hold us. Y'all heard the word, y'all heard the word. Griff, Mathurin, and Q, yeah, we on the verse. So diverse, with no rehearse, that's how we work. Authentic when we give it, if we said it, then we meant it. Not to be confused with other people's views. They get it how they get it, and we get it how we do. Look, homie, this a whole different game. We got a whole different name, we in a whole different lane. Yeah. We Notaries Unsealed. This my everyday life. We Notaries Unsealed. Every day I hustle out here living it right. We Notaries Unsealed. Put the stamp down and stepped in front of the mic. Took the game over, we home now. We soldiers. Griff, Mathurin, and Q, the podcast, you can't hold us. We Notaries Unsealed. Every day I hustle out here living it right. We Notaries Unsealed. This my everyday life.